Okay, so the first post is by OwnAlternative2602. They state, am I overthinking or did he lose interest in me? I, 20 female, have never really dated at all and have little to none experience with sex. I met this guy, 28 male, at school. He was the first to message me, and from there we hit it off. We talked almost every day about everything and nothing at the same time. So finally, when our schedules finally aligned outside of school, we hung out last Sunday. We kissed for the first time and then did more than kiss, but we didn't have sex because we didn't have protection and he respected it. We watched a movie and cuddled after, and he went home. Monday came around and I saw him at school. Everything seemed fine, no kissing. We only had a hug goodbye. Then I noticed him and I have not been texting as frequently as we used to or at all some days. I'm worried that he's not into me anymore after what happened on Sunday, and that's why he's sort of ghosting me now. I need to know, what do you guys think, so I know how to act around him, because I've seen him multiple times a day at school and I don't want to make things too awkward after this. Or can I just be overthinking and need to give him some time? I really like him, but I don't want to spend more time thinking of him if he's not feeling the same.
So they went on just the first date, right?
Yeah, so I think I don't know if they really had a date, but they've been like talking. And then they finally found time to like meet up, and then they kind of like fooled around a little bit. Not sex, but just like, cuddling and stuff. And then after that
just ghosting. Not ghosting, but it's less.
He's fading away.
Yeah.
What's your view? What would your advice be to her? Because I think she's feeling like, kind of like, is he not interested in me anymore? And should I just like fade away? Or is, what do you think?
It's just a very beginning of the stage of like, this. So I think that, I don't know, I'm not speaking for guys, right? But I think usually when it's the beginning of everything, it should be very exciting and you should be more interactive and you want to be socialized and you want to hang out basically. But I think if he is sort of fading away or less attention, maybe it's a sign that he's not in moving forward with this or try to hang out. Because I think we just watched a movie together and I think in the movie it was like the first kiss tells everything.
Is this Hitch?
Yeah. So I was thinking like, because I was asking you that, is it because Justin have a lot more experience?
No.
And yeah, but maybe like because of this, who knows? Maybe he just realized that, oh, actually it's just a friendship, or maybe I like her, but when things get a little bit more physical, I don't find her attractive, or I don't have like a sexual appeal towards this person.
Yeah. Honestly, nowadays, I mean, it's hard for me to comment so much about dating because I think dating has changed so much recently. I mean, like I was born too late for online dating. I feel like I never really got involved with like Tinder and stuff like that.
Do you want to?
No, I'm like, no, it's like so anxious thinking about dating again. But nowadays I feel like there's so many options out there that maybe he got there and maybe there was something that he didn't quite like and he just felt like, okay, this is not really worth investing more into, and he's probably just fading back in a sense that like he's like, oh, let's just walk it back to like being friends and instead of leading her on. I mean, people should be more clear, but I mean, he's not, I guess he's kind of ghosting her. Like he's just kind of like imagine like the next time you meet, he's like, hey, here's a hug and stuff like that. But like
friend zone.
Yeah, but I think it should be like, okay, just take the L and like bow out. Like I think she should just be like,
what is the L?
Like the loss, like an L versus a W.
Okay.
And then like, so I think she just, if it turns out the other person isn't putting the energy back towards you, I think you can just assume that like, okay, let's just let it fade away. Unless you like really like him, then you can state your case like, hey,
because she really liked him. So what would be your advice? Because she said that she really liked him.
I think it's but I think she's also young. So she's 20 and female, and then he's 28 male. And so he's like, maybe they're different places in his life. She's probably starting college, and maybe she's young. So this is like, when you're young, relationships are everything. Versus like for him, he might be,
if this is not, then just move on.
Yeah, like he's like, okay, if this is not really something I'm interested in, then I got things going on at work and other things that I need to pay attention to. So I would say, if I was talking to my friend, I would say chalk this up as a learning experience and just move on. Like like you guys were, no one did anything wrong, so like you don't need to hate him, and just be like, okay, when you see him, just be like, hey, what's up, and that's it, and move on.
I actually think otherwise.
Ooh.
I think that if this is my friend and she really, really liked him, I would say that, it's too soon to back out. I would just say that maybe try approaching him a bit, like give him a bit more hint that like, hey, like flirting a bit, and then just give it one more push. And then if it's not, then, just back out. Because sometimes I feel that maybe he doesn't sure, like if she interested in him or her gesture is not as obvious that he can tell like, oh, if she likes him or not, so I would maybe just put efforts a bit more and then see it for one time. And then if it's not working out, or if he just sort of ghosting her, then okay, it's clear that nah.
It's so funny that someone could you guys can make out and like fool around, watch a movie and cuddle, and then when it comes to like, but we're not really sure if he's interested in her. It's like you guys, it's kind of like if like a girl kisses you and you're like, well, I'm not sure if she likes me. It's like,
But what interrupt the whole thing? Did she say?
No, I think it was just like time for him to go home. Like they just hung out, and then they just didn't have sex because they didn't have a condom and stuff like
I think maybe he just
maybe he's nervous.
I don't know, is it? But yeah.
Well, if going off your advice as well, if I was to talk to her, I would say if you need that closure, just talk to him. He's an adult, and just be like, hey, I was wondering.
Maybe she doesn't want to, like lose her cool.
Yeah, well, I think if you don't want to lose your cool, then you just let it go.
Oh, okay.
You gotta be cool. Okay, that was a good warm up.
Yeah, before we go into the next story, for example, if us didn't happen and you're single, would you try?
This sounds like a trap.
No, it's not a trap, but I just wonder, have you ever tried online dating?
No.
Never.
The closest I got to online dating is like DMing Instagram, stuff like that. But not like nothing like a swiping, going through catalog, nothing like that. And even when I did DM on like Instagram, it was never like,
I like
hey,
this
I like
person.
you. Yeah, it was more like, hey, like I'm just like, hey, meet up, like, networking more. So then like looking for a date. And then, you meet them and they'd be like, oh, this is fun, stuff like that, organically.
I think, yeah, let's skip it. Yeah, because I'm just wondering that I talked to one of my couple friends before, and then one is married and one is like in committed relationship, and I think some of them are like, I wonder like what it's like to do online dating or Tinder and whatnot. Yeah, but I don't think that. So I downloaded once.
Whoa.
Yeah, I downloaded it once.
When you're living in the US?
In the US, yeah, I downloaded it once, but I don't have any bias towards anyone about like using online dating or not, because I see that many couples as well that I know them, they turn out to be a lovely couple, or some of them are like married, so I don't have anything against them, but it just for me that I'd rather meet a person in real life and like maybe you meet at a cafe or like somewhere, rather than like this is personal, like this my personal individual's like opinion, because I just don't like because everything you judge a person by just photos, not a photos, because they would post different photos, blah blah blah, and I don't know, just the concept of, I mean, of course, not sexual appearance, but appearance, it's sort of a window.
Like attraction.
Yeah, it's attraction. Yeah, it's hard to say, but I don't have anything against it. But so I download it and I have it for like 15 minutes. I delete it because I just don't like the concept of browsing like that. Yeah,
I think when we grew up, or at least for me, when online dating first started coming on the scene, like eHarmony or something like that, like those older ones, and it was seen kind of, there was like that stigma of like, if you can't meet someone in real life, like for the people that like cannot find their own dates, they have to use online dating, and it's kind of like seen as kind of like I don't want to be like mean, but okay, if I'm talking frankly, it seems like if you aren't good enough to find someone in real life, then you have to use
that's a
online
stigma.
dating. That's a stigma,
Okay.
right? And then I feel like, but I also know a lot of couples that have even gotten married after online dating, and in that couple's case was they're a very busy career, so they really didn't have a chance to meet anyone, and then they weren't meeting anyone in their
cycle,
in their career, the office, whatever, and they also don't want to date anyone in the office, obviously. So so for that, I get it makes sense. And then nowadays, now we have lived everything through our virtual lives, in a sense, in our like virtual profiles. It's like much more common, and it's not weird, just like when growing up, like taking selfies in public was like embarrassing. Like I wouldn't want to be caught like looking at myself in my selfie camera, but nowadays people do it, right next to you on the train, and like they're like, it's like no shame.
And you judge me.
No, never.
No, but I agree. It's just not the way that, not that it's not common. It's very common like this day, but it's just not for me. That's it. Yeah.
I agree.
Hopefully we don't have to use it ever.
Yeah, hopefully not.
We have to make sure that we don't use it.
That won't be a problem.
Okay.